Warning, you'd have to really love shoes to view this entire video. Skip ahead to the section that interests you. After spending thousands of dollars and dozens of hours trying to find the perfect hiking shoe, I can report to you there is none. There's only the best compromise. But that search is a noble one. Most of us picture the end result of a hike on a mountain peak with endless vistas and spectacular weather. But that image ignores the grueling 60,000 steps it took to get there, and that each step came with the risk of a twisted ankle, a fall, and if it was a fall from a height, even death. And on each of those steps you were wearing shoes. If you fall, no one's coming to rescue you. You're going to have to make it out on your own. No wonder why shoes are a bit of an obsession for hikers. They are truly where the rubber meets the road. Anyone who is serious about hiking is serious about shoes. Now, shoe preferences are like noses. Everyone has one, and in this video I will cover only the more popular shoes, so I may ignore, or even worse, criticize your favorite. Choosing a shoe is a personal matter, but what I'm going to do here is share my journey through a variety of shoes in hopes that it will help you with yours. After I make a few introductory comments, it will be divided into 3 sections. 1, types of shoes with some comments on each. 2, current popular shoes and the ones that I choose. And 3, the shoe companies and their warranties, shipping policies, and return policies, each of which is important if you are searching for the perfect shoe or the best compromise. First, a few comments about fitting shoes. In my experience, the only place you can evaluate a shoe properly is the place in which you're going to use it. REI is a nice place because it provides a plastic rock where you can test going uphill and downhill, but I found that shoes feel differently in the real world. I would never buy a shoe unless I could test it in the real world and return it without penalty if it does not work out. Second, because most hikes involve going downhill, be sure to leave yourself some room in front of the shoe for those downhills, otherwise you'll be dealing with bruised toenails or even worse. Third, understand the degree to which your feet swell and accommodate that. Travel makes my feet swell, although hiking has only a minor effect. But I found that after getting to Grand Canyon to hike, the shoes that fit me perfectly in my house are a little bit tight. Understand yourself and get shoes that work for your particular health and body type. Fourth, recognize that the problems you feel in a shoe store or on a local walk can morph into big ones on a long hike. A mild rub can become a bloody sore. Be sure the shoe you choose works in the real world, not just in the shoe store, and buy a shoe that offers a full price refund if it does not work out for you in the real world. If you're just starting out hiking, I can recommend one of 2 shoes for you right up front. The first is a $20 shoe from a store like Big 5 or a similar discounter. If it fits you properly, it can work out great. The second would be a shoe with a free trial, like from Altra, Hoka, or Topo, because I can all but guarantee you that the shoe you start with will not be the shoe you choose in the long run. At least it wasn't for me. And if you have a free trial or an inexpensive shoe, moving on to another shoe will not be as difficult. This video is for hikers of all ages. I will make a companion video of shoes for older hikers and walkers for whom special considerations and specific recommendations exist. Now, I've been trying to improve the sound quality of these videos, and there's too much ambient noise here in the garage with cars driving by and so forth. So I'm going to move in and take the shoes in with me in hopes of achieving better sound quality. But I wanted this initial shot to at least build credibility in the fact that I've got a heck of a lot of shoes. I did some backpacking in my late teens, and at that time I equipped myself with some work boots from Sears, some wool pants and shirts from the Army Navy surplus store, and I was ready to go. So when I returned to hiking, I think I started out in the same way. One of the things we do is go with what you know. I bought myself an inexpensive shoe for about $20, like these High Sierras, and they were perfectly competent and worked fine. It's a good place to start. But I quickly changed and wanted something better. There's a Merrell surplus store not so far from where I live, and I went and I bought a low-cut Merrell, like these Merrell Moabs. Mine was a low-cut Merrell Moab ventilator, and I took it on a nice long hike. I went down Bright Angel Trail, linked through Boat Beach up to South Kaibab Trail, and I hit the ascent hard. When I reached the tip-off, I felt like I had a knife blade in my ankle. I'd injured my ankle at age 21. I quit running at age 37 because of that ankle injury, and for me it's been a lifelong weakness. I literally thought that I might have to crawl the 5 or so final miles back to the canyon rim. Luckily, I took 4 aspirin, put on an ankle brace I had carried along with me just in case, and I hobbled back to the top without too much trouble. But I've never hiked in a low shoe again. I then moved to the most supportive shoe I could find, the Salomon Quest. I feel great affection towards these boots. I call them my Frankenstein boots because they are so supportive and so stiff. And that brings me to the first general category of shoes that I'm going to talk about, traditional boots. Traditional boots work fine and they're preferred by many people. People with a few extra pounds, people with a military background often like a very supportive boot. But they're not the most popular shoes on the trail anymore, although they still retain strong devotees. When I started hiking, Merrells dominated the trail. I look down a lot to keep from falling, and I've developed a hobby of identifying shoes by their tread patterns. Merrells are easily distinguishable by the circular patterns in the tread. I guess they think it gives traction in all directions. Transitioning from the traditional hiking boot are kind of a hybrid between a boot and a running shoe. Things like these North Face hedgehogs, which are available in both high and low, and they have some of the flexibility of a runner, but also the support of a hiker. To a certain degree, another example are the Salomon, these are Ultra 3s, and a shoe that's no longer made but that I truly loved, which was the Merrell Capra Bolt. Initially, I was very critical of what I called sloppy shoes, shoes that gave you some movement internally. I sought a shoe that was supportive, with a very durable sole, and was not inclined to abrade through on the uppers. But the Capra bolts led me to change. I went through several pairs of these and they wore through very quickly, but they were ultimately comfortable to me. At this point in my shoe journey, I sat down with all of my shoes and said, let me analyze what's right and what's wrong about what I'm wearing. And I learned to abandon that fear of the sloppy shoe. My favorite shoes at that time were the Capras, and the Capras had soft sides. The compromise was that they wore more quickly, but they were much more comfortable. So I went from a supportive shoe and started exploring less supportive shoes. And please note, almost all of the hybrid shoes are available in mid or low, or Gore-Tex or ventilated. There are a lot of selections available. Now, my examination of the most comfortable shoe to me led me to a much less structured shoe than I've been wearing. And we're going to talk about the next category of shoes, trail runners. The types are minimal cushioning, moderate cushioning, and maximal cushioning. And we're going to talk about each. I flirted briefly with minimal cushioning. These are the Altra Superiors, which at the time were the most popular trail runner on the market. I got this pair for about half off, and I was willing to give them a try. I got these, took them out for a walk, and I said, these are the most comfortable shoes I've worn in my life. They have a fair amount of flex, even in the uppers. But they did not provide me with the support I was looking for, and every rock you stepped on came through the bottom. Perhaps for a young person who is looking for a lot of road feel, a lot of flexibility, these are the right choice. But for me, they were not the right choice. My flirtation with a minimalist shoe ended. I then had a fairly serious affair with the Altra Lone Peaks. These are available in mids and lows, in waterproof and in ventilated. I hiked at least 4 rim to rims in these Lone Peak 3s, and they served me well. They are the most popular shoe on the trail today for good reason. They have flexibility, lightweight, and a fair degree of support. One additional benefit of the Altra Lone Peaks is that they come with gaiter traps, allowing you to easily use a trail gaiter, something that I find essential. I wear a trail gaiter every day for walking and in every hike I take. Unfortunately, Altra has chosen to eliminate the trail gaiters from the mids of the Lone Peaks, and they've even chosen to eliminate the trail gaiters on the Olympus 5 Gore-Tex. If I were 40, I'd probably wear these all of the time, but I'm not 40 anymore. When I think about shoes, I can also draw an analogy to cars. Younger people tend to like sporty cars, cars that hug the road, cars that let you feel every curve. Older people tend to trend towards luxury cars, cars with a softer ride, cars that are more comfortable. And I've kind of changed in that way as well. These Altra Lone Peaks were good friends to me, but I have to say to them, I've changed, you haven't, we're not a good fit anymore, and it's time to move on. After my time with the Altra Lone Peaks, I returned to a hybrid to the Salomon Ultra 3s, and I found these to be an absolutely superior shoe. The lacing is great. They're easy to put on. Simple to lace up. They have a generous tongue. Protection for abrasions. Pretty good support for the ankles. And a very durable sole. The problems with the Ultra 3 include the waterproofing failing fairly quickly. And what really got me to change was the intrusion of rocks through the sole. They are still a relatively thin shoe, and after 12 hours on sharp rocks, my feet honestly started to hurt. Now, there is a factor of aging in this. As you age, the fat on the bottom of your foot starts to disappear, and you are more and more subject to the intrusion of rocks and discomfort as you hike. So to the Salomon Ultra, I say, I've changed, and to a degree, you've changed. It's time for me to move on to another shoe. Now, I would probably still use these Ultra 3s and Ultra 4s in the winter because I wear them with traction devices like crampons. Unfortunately, the Salomon company, which was founded in France in 1947, sold in 2018 to a Chinese company, and the quality of these shoes has declined sharply. This is an Ultra 3, this is an Ultra 4. They've changed the tread design. They've changed the lacing system, which was so good on the 3s and is fixed on the 4s. And if you want a sense of the change in quality, you can look at the tongue. The Ultra 3s had a nice vinyl tongue protector. On the 4s, it just became a decal. In fact, I returned a pair of these because the decal was only glued on halfway. The other thing is the 4s compress too much in the forefoot for me, and it feels like somebody is jabbing me with a stick. So I have moved on substantially from these Salomon Ultras. I'll probably keep my 3s for winter hikes because they do very well with a traction device. But other than that, I found a new shoe. The final category, and the category where my attention rests now, is the Maximal cushioned trail runner. There are three major companies that produce these now: Hoka, Altra, and Topo. I've tried about 3 pairs of Hokas and they've never worked for me. Part of this may be that I was raised poor and worked hard, and $240 for a pair of shoes is a lot of money for me. I expect them to be close to perfect. I found that the laces on the Hokas go over the tongue of the shoe and end up touching my ankle. I found that they have a hard sole, no bevel on the sole, which increases the risk of falling, and I get some abrasion from the collars in the Hoka mids. They're simply not my preference, but some people love them. Next are the Altras. The Altras are available in mids, Gore-Tex or non-Gore-Tex, lows, ventilated like these, which are my daily walkers, and lows in a Gore-Tex. These Olympus shoes are definitely a compromise. To get the Maximal cushioning, they have a thick, spongy sole, and they glue these Vibram pieces onto it, which leads to durability problems. A friend of mine hiked rim to rim in a pair like this last year, and the pieces started to come off halfway through the hike, which is not what you want to have happen. I believe that Altra has upped its game a bit on the glue and the pieces are hanging on much better. But I do worry about the long-term durability, especially on a rim to rim to rim hike. Second, I hike year-round. And in the winter, I use traction devices, some of which are these ice trekkers, which have a very sharp edge to them. I have not worn them because I worry that the sharp edge of the ice trekker will tear off the lightly glued treads. These ice trekkers work so much better on a shoe like the Solomon, which has a solid block of tread and is not as fragile. Finally, durability is a concern, but I believe Altra has improved its durability. I have 11 months of wear on these Olympus 4s, and they're my daily wear shoes. I walk 4 or 5 miles a day, so I've probably gone 1,500 miles in these shoes. Both the sole and the uppers are still usable. Once again, I said I grew up poor and I work hard for what I have. As long as these shoes are holding up, I'm going to keep wearing them. The final example of a foot-shaped Maximal cushion trail runner are these Topos. These are Trail Venture 2 waterproofs. This shoe, in theory, has it all. Although the sole does not appear as thick as the Altra Olympus, they are very spongy and supportive. They have clever things like a lace lock, which allows you to have 2 different levels of lacing tension. Tighter perhaps on the lower and looser on the upper. Very, very clever. Finally, they have a rock plate, which is actually a little bit of plastic that goes between you and the trail and should stop rock intrusion. They also have the appearance of an ability to take a traction device like these ice trekkers without having the sole be destroyed. These may be the next shoe that I love, but I haven't really been able to make the transition to these. I get a little bit of sliding inside. I haven't quite worked out the lacing, so these are an option for me in the future. So in the end, this is where I stand with my compromise. I wear Altra Olympus for walking and off-season hiking. I'm currently sticking with the Salomon Ultra 3s for winter and ice hiking. I am most likely going to wear the Altra Olympus 5 mid waterproof on my next rim-to-rim hike, and I'm working on making the Topos work. As you can see, my never-ending quest for the perfect shoe continues, but at least I found the best compromise that works for me at this point in time. Before I had become a late life hiker, I had never paid more than $100 for a pair of shoes. Some of these shoes, like the Hokas, cost $240. So from my perspective, saving money and getting the best deal is important. One cannot talk about buying shoes or buying any recreational equipment, in fact, with not talking about REI, which stands for Recreational Equipment Incorporated. They sell a membership for $30 a year, and usually they rebate that $30 membership fee on your next purchase. So essentially, membership is free. They offer typically a 20% off sale on most of their merchandise twice a year, which can really make a difference on a $240 shoe. And probably most importantly, they offer a 1-year satisfaction guaranteed warranty. In the beginning, they were very good on returns on shoes. I would often be dissatisfied with a shoe that wore through prematurely on the upper when the sole was still in good condition. However, recently they started saying these shoes are worn, we're not going to refund the cost. And pretty much because of that, I've moved away from REI, where every shoe and every product is sold at retail price. Now you can buy directly from the manufacturers. Altra, which is the way they say it, I always call them Altra, is a US company that was founded in 2009 and in 2018 sold to VF, a corporation that owns North Face, Smartwool, and Supreme, among other brands. The quality after the sale in 2018 really seemed to be suffering, but now it is recovering. They offer a warranty and they do honor it, but they say you can only put 300 to 500 miles on your shoes for them to honor the warranty. They often look at the tag inside of the shoe to calculate how much wear is on your shoe. Altra has free shipping, free returns, and a 30-day trial. That is, you can order the shoes, have them come to your house, wear them in the environment in which you plan to hike, and if you are not satisfied, return them. Now, I've both had warranty claims satisfied with Altra, and I've purchased and returned the shoes within that 30-day period, and they have refunded the money. Hoka, which is currently quite popular, was founded in France in 2009. It was sold to Deckers, a US company, in 2013. Hoka offers free shipping, free returns, and a 30-day free trial, and that's 30 days from the purchase date. I have purchased, tried, and returned shoes to Hoka's, and they do honor that policy. Currently, they offer no discount on the purchase of their shoes, so a $240 shoe costs $240, and I have no experience with their warranty. Salomon was founded in France in 1947. It sold to Atop Sports, a Chinese company, in 2019, and I've noted a severe decline in quality of the Salomon shoes. Salomon does honor its 2-year warranty, which is the longest warranty I know of any shoe company. They currently offer 10% off your first purchase, and they have free shipping and returns within 45 days, but you can't wear the shoes. To get your money back, you need to return them new and unworn. Topo was founded in 2012 and sold to US-based designer brands in 2022. Topo offers free shipping and returns and a 30-day trial, meaning you can wear the shoes, 30-day trial from the date of purchase. They currently offer 10% off on their shoes if you go in through their website, and I have no warranty experience with dealing with Topo. Merrell is a US company and since 1986 has had corporate ownership. Merrell offers free shipping, but you cannot wear their shoes if you choose to return them. They offer a 30-day return period, but charge you $5 to make that return. I've never ordered Merrell's through their website, but I have had warranty claims with Merrell, and they do honor their warranty. In my experience, shoe manufacturers reduce the quality of each remodeled shoe and are looking to improve their profit. So I often shop for closeout colors and closeout models. I found I can save 50% on a shoe on Amazon or from other online sellers. If you find a good shoe at a good price, I would recommend buying 2 pairs because the shoe that you like may soon disappear. So in conclusion, this has been a fairly exhausting look at a complex but important topic. If I failed to mention your favorite shoe, please forgive me and put a description of why it is superior in the comments so everyone else can see it. I do want to clarify, I received no compensation from anyone for my observations in this video. This is just based upon my personal experience. I'm going to wish you the best of luck in your search for the perfect shoe or the best compromise shoe. Happy hiking and thank you for watching.